Hey guys. Now, I don't normally do unboxings at night, but I just got home and this huge package was waiting for me at my doorstep. Now, you might be wondering, this is a pretty big box. What could it possibly be? Well, actually, inside this is an All Might figure, which is Toshinori's depowered, scrawnier form. Now, there's a statue for this. I didn't know it existed, and I've always been a fan of like scrawnier Toshinori, so I got really excited when I saw that this one was on pre-order, and I instantly pre-ordered it. I've been waiting a while. It's finally here, so let's open this bad boy up and see how he looks. Oh wow. It seems that we got the main body here, the base, and all subsequent pieces. His little arm. Let's unwrap these carefully. There's wisps of smoke as well, I believe. Okay, this is what it's like without all the wrapping paper. Now, there's no instructions for this. Obviously, his body parts themselves probably won't be that hard to figure out, but there's a lot of sort of nondescript cloud pieces that may be sort of interesting. But let's check out these individually and see how good the painting and detail work are. Now, first up, of course, we've got the base. It's surprisingly heavy, actually. Feels very solid. Got the logo on the front. Looks like it's like a concrete surface full of all the little spots to put the pieces. It says All Might, actually says number 25 out of 163, so they didn't make very many of these. This is pretty cool. We come to the main body. Now what's interesting is, I'm not sure if these are hand painted. I'm assuming if it's only 163 of them, they probably were. Some pretty crazy detail of his battle scars under his shirt. So it goes pretty far back. And his belt, of course. Shoes. So far so good. You got the two pieces I'm probably the most worried about, which are the two pieces of hair in front of his face. Fortunately, they survived travel. It has a gentle shading to it, a little airbrush. His two arms covered with smoke. So my assumption is that this is probably just before or after he does his All Might transformation, because there's usually that smoke involved. Again, nice sculpting. You got interesting muscle here, muscle detail, airbrushing, very nice. I'm not going to do too many close-ups of these clouds because they kind of don't look like very much by themselves. It'll probably look a lot cooler when you see the smoke all together with the final thing. You have a street pole. It's interesting because the painting is textured here. So that's kind of a nice touch. It doesn't just feel like the same kind of airbrush job as Toshinori himself. So that'll go in the back. And then most importantly, I got Toshinori's face. Now, again, this is an airbrush paint job, so there's a little fuzzies there. I kind of take that into consideration because, like, for example, maybe this might look a little too bruisey of a shading job, but he always has looked kind of extreme himself, so I actually think it doesn't look too bad. Let's see if I can get a closer view. Alright, a little bit closer. I mean, they actually did a pretty good job. You see the scratchiness underneath his eyes to show like his really extreme black eye look. Maybe a bit more orangey than I would like with some of the airbrushing in his hair, but it's not bad. Also keep in mind he'll have his bangs covering up this part here. The sculpt itself I'm pretty happy with. I mean, it's very much on model. There's no questionable quality, because I know a lot of people's concerns were that you know, you never quite know the quality of the actual statue that you receive as opposed to the production models they usually show in the advertisements. But this one looks pretty true to what I saw in the advertisement. Now what's funny is I believe it feels like there is a slight magnet or something maybe within some of these pieces, because when I put the arms in, it almost kind of wanted to go in, like very gently. So I believe there's probably some minor magnet in there to kind of keep these up. If you're concerned, you could probably use a little glue or whatever when you're applying the appendages so that they feel a bit more sturdily in there. But right now, they're surprisingly solid. It doesn't seem to be any magnet or anything like that with these pieces, so you may want to be a little careful with them. So that's pretty cool. Looks pretty great. Now let's figure out how to do the smoke. Look at that. Now there's also, as I mentioned, definitely some magnetized pieces within the smoke because they immediately attracted to the parts of the base that they were supposed to go to. So that made things much easier. One other weird little thing to note, initially I thought that this did not come with the little cherry blossoms that are pictured in the original production image, but weirdly enough they include them also with what appears to be some sticky material. I'm not sure if I'm going to add the cherry blossoms because as a nifty little touch as they might be, I don't know if it necessarily needs it, but we'll see. We're still missing one last component, which is the street pole. Now, what's a little weird is it's not a deal breaker, but if you can notice here, it's not totally straight up. It's very slightly angled. I don't know if that's just a mishap. It's not the worst thing in the world because there's so much else going on in this statue, but that is a little weird for all the details that they did get right. That's the one that they kind of messed up on a little bit. They include this metal, which is really interesting. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this. That has the number 25 out of 163. There's not a particular place to put it on the statue, but it's cool to have. It's actually metal. It's not like plastic or anything. And it's a representation of what we actually see in the statue, so that's pretty neat. You probably just, lean this up against the wall next to the statue, perhaps? Yeah, all things considered, it's a pretty great All Might statue, or Toshinori statue, actually. And it's really appealing because it's so, as I mentioned before, it's so hard to find any kind of figure or statue that's just Toshinori. So I'm really pleased with this. I haven't bought TNT statues before, but if this is any indication, the quality is really great. I will say, when I was shopping for this, the price was all over the place. I bought from a more reliable, at least from what I understand, website, a reputable website, and that was a little bit more money, but they were $50 to $60 less at other more questionable sites. Like, the problem, honestly, is it comes from China, so you're never 100% sure if what you're getting is the legit version or a knockoff. The quality's certainly there. But overall, it's really cool. If you're a My Hero Academia, Boku no Hero Academia fan, and you've wanted something that's a little off the beaten path, especially in terms of All Might, this might be for you. And again, that's the TNT Studios original form All Might. I got some more unboxings coming up soon. Got some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Nendroids that I'm going to unbox, so that should be pretty fun. In the meantime, thanks for watching.